discrete sir kay murag
Go
wait
ahead.
lang sir.
For the discrete, unsay mga nasa discrete?
Katong
Before
isa
we
mga
proceed to this new lesson, we have a new lesson this afternoon. But before that, let's have a review. Tama tong gisulti ni Mr. Emmanuel Alburo. Mention siya discrete and continuous. That is under quantitative data because there are two kinds of data. We have, or variable, in other words, part gihapon sa to ang lesson, quantitative and qualitative. Under sa quantitative, we have discrete and continuous. So go ahead, Emmanuel. Saan din mo pag-elaborate ang continuous and discrete? Sa kalahian.
Quanti sa continuous sir so kanang iyang kwan sir ba ang data ni sir kana gani murag mag rolling na guys sir kana murag
Okay, rolling,
nagapadayon
rolling
na sir ba.
matuyo-tuyo.
Ay kana
Or
nagapadayon na sir ba.
para mas masabtan natong tanan, ang continuous is pwede siya hibutangan og decimal kay accurate measurement
Oh
siya.
bitaw sir murag
Siya ang continuous. While ang discrete is kato mga variables nga ang imuhang answer mga counting numbers lang. Naklaro ninyo? So that's why ang mga example, for example, your unit of interest is the restaurant, di ba katong previous lesson nato. And then imuhang variable, katong variable mo, those are the characteristics nga naa sa unit of interest nga pwede nimo sila i-differentiate. So daghan mag-restaurant, so how are you going to differentiate restaurants? So one variable can be the number of employees. Tama ba? So kung number of employees imong variable, unsa na siya, discrete or continuous? Number of employees. Pila ka buok empleyado sa isa ka restaurant? Pwede ba siya himuong continuous?
Discrete
Discrete
sir,
sir.
discrete.
Discrete sir,
Dili,
discrete.
dili sir.
Ay 12.5 ka employees diha. Anong na may 0.5? Naman gutoy ka ng aswang nga naputol iyang lawas. Dili pwede, di ba? So the answer
Dili sir.
is discrete.
Discrete.
Discrete ang tawag ato. Number of persons, number of tables sa restaurant, number of chairs. That is an example of discrete. Kung continuous po siya, the same unit of interest, we have restaurant, pwede siya matagaan og decimal point. Example is the area of the restaurant, di ba? The average income of the employees, naman yung mga centavo. So those are examples of continuous. So thank you so much, Emmanuel. That was one of our previous lessons. Aside from discrete and continuous, we also discussed, what else? Isa pa ang idea. We also discussed data collection actually and presentation. Kita to nag-raise og hand. Wala. Yes, Miss Karin. Miss Karin, you are acknowledged.
Sasabihin ko pa lang sana yung title ng lesson, sir. Nasabi niyo na po.
What is the title of the lesson last time?
Data collection and presentation.
Very good. Thank you so much. That is actually a big topic. We have subtopics under that. And Miss Montuya, can you name one topic under that particular subject? Data presentation and collection. Kayla?
Ano sir, katong mga sampling techniques.
Very
Different
good.
sampling technique tapos katong non-random pod nga which is not preferred.
Very good. Tama yun siya. We are actually recommended to use the katong random. There are actually 4. You can recall the 4 katong pinaka ginagamit gani when you are doing research. Again, we have Garin.
Simple random technique, sir.
Simple random, that's one. What else?
Stratified.
Stratified, correct?
I forgot.
Okay, who can help? Thank you so much, Mrs. Garin. Dalawa pa. Ang
Simple
kulang.
random sir.
Wala sa diretso na si Alburo ni. Diretso na siya answer sige Alburo padayon. Kulangan na lang duha. Stratified and simple random are already given.
Sir, may continue.
Sige, go ahead, Miss Karin.
The other two are systematic and cluster sampling.
Very good. So those are the different sampling methods which are very much recommended if you are doing academic research. Okay, these are probability type of sampling. While the others, if you are siguro in a hurry, gusto mo matapos yung research, then you can choose Either incidental ka lang ba or mag-purposive. Those are not actually very much welcome. Siguro if you are just having your own research na dili i-publish, then you can have those. Aside from the sampling techniques, we also discussed, meron pa bang na-discuss? Daabay, you are raising your hand. Mr. Daabay? Wala na, yun lang. We also discussed different ways to present, di ba? Using the text, using the table, or using the graph. And we also discussed data, where to get the data, the primary data, as well as the secondary data. So I hope you will never forget all those things because that will be part of your third examination, which will be given to you after we discuss the last two topics under statistics. So for tonight, we have central tendency. Then right after this, we'll have the measures of variability. So itong dalawa, ang last two topics for statistics. When we talk about central tendency, there are actually three measurements, the mean, median, and mode. And I believe this is already familiar to you since high school. Tama ba? Mean, median, and mode nasa high school. Tama ba?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Nasa high school ang mean, median, and mode. So this is just a review because this is part of our syllabus. So we need to tackle this one. What is the meaning of the measures of central tendency? Kindly read. May I request Labajo. Aljo.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Measures
Read.
of central tendency are numerical descriptive measures which indicates or locate the center of a distribution of dataset. In
Thank you. Ah,
Marata sir.
until there lang muna, Mr. Labajo. Okay, we are going to explain this. When we talk about measures of central tendency, you are actually getting what? The center. The center, which is usually part of the distribution. For example, there are a lot of data nga na-gather mo. Number of employees in every restaurant. Then there are a lot of restaurants in your area. Say for example, abot og 40 kabuok restaurants in your area. And you are just to give only one value that will describe the 40 restaurant. So that value that will represent all of the restaurants, central tendency ang kukunin. So that is why lumabas na si mean, median, and mode because itong tatlo, these are the different ways to describe the central tendency. But generally, when we talk about central tendency, it is located at the center of the distribution. If we will continue this, in layman's term, ang tawag sa central tendency is average. Di ba mas klaro na sa inyo? When you talk about average, ano ibig sabihin ng average? For example, you have your scores in the quiz. Nasaan doon yung average mo? Di ba? Kailangan mong kunin yung average mo. If you have 100 for siguro sa first quiz mo, second quiz na 0 ka, third quiz 95, and so on. So to get one description of all the quizzes scores that you have to get the average. So that is central tendency. It is a single number of value which can be considered typical in a set of data as a whole. So another example given here is in a class of 40 students, the average height would be the typical height of the members of this class as a whole. So for example, sa class ninyo may mga matatangkad, may katamtaman lang, meron ring mga masyadong below the usual, siguro 4 and below. So if there is only one description para sa lahat na height ninyo, then we will get the central tendency. Nasabtan ba ang central tendency? That is the meaning of central tendency. To get the central tendency, we can have three choices. Number one is the mean. Kindly read what's the meaning of mean? Do what? Do what?
Yes, sir. The mean of
A set of value or measurement is the sum of the measurement divided by the number of measurements in the set.
Thank you so much. So, kwaon daw nimo ang mga sum. So, you are going to add all the values given and then divided by the number of measurements. So, if you will go back to the examples scores mo sa quiz. So, if you have the paper and if you have a calculator, mas okay, di ba? Kaya para mas mabilis ang inyong pag-compute. If you have first quiz, 100. Second quiz, 0. Third quiz, 95. And then fourth quiz, 0. There are only 4 quizzes. What is the mean? Based on the definition, you are going to get the sum. So kung kuhanin mo ang sum, you are going to add. So what is the sum of 100 plus 0 plus 95 plus 1 plus 0? That's 195. I hope you have your calculator. Divided by ilan quizzes yun siya? There are
4, sir.
4 quizzes. So 195 divided by 4, it means that your general, your average score that will describe all your quizzes, your performance is just, calculate, 195.
48.75.
48.75. So wala ka kakapasar. Okay, 75 man ang passing. So that will be the mean. Kung inato imong kuhaon, 48.75 will describe your performance for your 4 quizzes wherein you scored 100, then 0, then 95, then 0. Among the 3 measures of central tendency, the mean is the most popular. Ito siya ang pinaka-common and widely used. And sometimes it is called the arithmetic mean. If we compute for the mean of the population, that is known as the parametric or the population mean, denoted by mu. This is another Greek letter. But if we will get only the mean of the sample, then it is called the sample mean, denoted by x bar. So usually ang ginagamit natin is x bar, the sample mean. What is the formula? But later, before we have the formula, we will have the characteristics. Ano yung mga katangian or properties of the mean? Number 1, kindly read. Are you here? Kilantang? Kilantang, are you here? I'm also checking the attendance if you are here. If you are
Sir,
really in our meeting room, kindly read the first property of mean.
Mean can be calculated for any set of numerical data, so it always exists.
Very good. So it always exists. There is always an answer as long as your data is numerical or quantitative data siya. So meron kang sagot, lahat ng mga numbers na binigay ng mga data, number of tables in the restaurant, you can actually get the mean. Number of employees, you can get the mean. As long as number ang data, it has an answer. How about number 2? Venus.
A set of numerical data has one and only one mean.
Very good. So there is only one answer when you get the mean. Kagaya ng score ganina sa quizzes, you have 100, 0, 95, and 0. There is only one answer. So kung hihingan ka ng mean, there is no way na magbibigay ka ng more than one answer because there is only one answer for the mean. So if you are going to get the central tendency of your measurement, there is only one answer for that. Number 3, Simini.
Mean is the most reliable measures of central tendency since it takes into account every time in the set of data. Thank you.
Or every item in the set of data. It is the most reliable. As you can see kanina, di ba? 100, 0, 95, 0. All of those numbers included sa calculation natin. Then divided by kung ilan sila lahat, 4. That is why your average score for your quiz is just 48.75. So it means na bawat numero, bawat value, bawat data are taken into account. Itong ibig sabihin na it takes into account every item. That is why it is most reliable. Unlike the other 2, yung median and mode, you will learn later bakit hindi siya masyadong ginagamit. So for the mean, it is accounting the given items one by one, so it is the most reliable measurement. When you are doing research, Mean ang pinaka ginagamit, pinaka-common. Number 4, kindly read. Ano kayang ibig sabihin nito? Again, Mr. Duwat.
It is greatly affected by extreme or deviant values.
Very good. Anong ibig sabihin ng extreme or deviant values? Yung mga masyadong maliliit na score and even yung malalaking score, it can actually affect the overall result of the mean. Let's take for example yung score mo kanina sa quiz. 'Di ba okay yung 100 na score? Then okay rin yung 95. But since meron kang 0 na score, it will actually affect the result. Tama ba? Nahila pababa. Nahila pababa because it takes into account every item of the data set. So kapag meron kang mababa na score or masyadong malaking score, it can actually affect the overall score if you are getting the mean. How about number 5? Handumon. Number 5, Handumon.
Andaman, sir?
Yes, Handumon.
Putol-putol ang tingin, sir.
Handumon.
It is used only if the data are quantitative.
Very good. So kung qualitative na yung data mo, then you should not use mean. Kay it will not be parang proper to calculate words. Kay calculate mo, i-add mo yan siya, tapos i-divide. And how are you going to do that kung hindi siya nakatransform into number? So it is only applicable if your data is, or the variables considered are quantitative. So clear na ang mean. Now let's have the computation now. Get your calculators and we will be computing. We will use the formula since we are under the ungrouped data. Yung mga ibinibigay talaga ang bawat numbers. So it is, I will read the formula, summation of, the numerator is summation of x. From the word sum. So you are going to add all your data set divided by n, which is the number of measurements. Kung ilan sila, then yun siya yung denominator. So x bar represents the mean. So if we will apply this formula for our first example, and it is all about the ages of mathematics teachers in Santa Rosa School. 38, my 35, my 28, my 36, my 35, my 33, my 40 years old. And if you are going to describe the age of the teachers, only one description will be given. Ano ang score nila? So you will add 38 plus 35 plus 28 plus 36 plus 35 plus 33 plus 40. And there are 7 items, 7 ages, divided by 7. So the mean age is 35. So how are you going to interpret that? Based on a computed mean, 35 is the average age of the mathematics teachers in Santa Rosa School. So kung maggagawa ka ng survey, and you will ask them, more or less, ilan ba ang, ano ang edad ng mga guro na nagtuturo ng matematika sa Santa Rosa School? More or less, ilang taong gulang sila? So you have to give only one answer. So central tendency ang gagamitin mo. Kasi may mga 28 years old, mayroong 40 years old. Pero if you will pick one number that will represent their age, that is 35. If you will use mean. So yun ang ibig sabihin ng mean. Nagets ninyo? Walang sagot. Did you get the point of the mean?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Because we cannot proceed to the next exercise kung hindi mo ninyo naintindihan. So since clear na sa inyo, then it's your turn. Please compute this one. And the first one to give the correct answer, to send the correct answer in our chat box, then he or she will earn additional points. And here is the problem. Mang Juan is a meat vendor. The following are his sales for the past 6 days. Compute his daily mean sales. So magkano ba ang kanyang sales for the week on the average? So you have to represent one number to describe that. So na-flash na yung mga amount. So please compute, and if you have the answer, you please type in your answer, send using our chat box. Since pera ito siya, you have to round off your answer to the nearest centavo. So last two decimal places dapat. So we already have one answer. How about the others? Two answers now.
Excuse me, sir. Excuse me, sir.
Yes, Miss Karen.
Okay lang mo may decimal, sir?
As I have mentioned a while ago, naklaro ko or choppy?
Choppy kasi di ko man narinig kanina,
How
sir.
about the
Sorry.
others? Narinig niyo ang instruction na when we talk about money, it should be last two decimal places. Kay centavo man ang last unit of money.
Yes, sir.
I hope narinig ninyo because others are giving whole numbers as their answers. There are a lot of answers already. I think this is enough for us to check who got the correct answer. So may nagbigay ng maraming decimal point. So again, when you talk about money, dalawa lang yung last na pwedeng i-convert or centavo. Meron pa bang mas maliit sa centavo in our currency? So far, wala, no? So last two decimal places lang. So you have to add all the numbers and divide it by the number of items since there are only 6 days na binigay dito and 6 amounts. So divided by 6. And that is 8,516 pesos and 67 centavos. The first answer was given by Miss Karin, and that is the correct answer. While the others got the wrong answer, ang kay Daabay, diretso niya ground up to the nearest peso. Dapat accurate, nearest centavo. While the others are nahuli pagbigay ng answer, meron ring masyadong mababa, 8 pesos lang ito kay RJ. And then maraming ano. So I think that is clear with you. Now let's proceed to another kind of mean. This is weighted mean. So unlike the previous one, wherein you will just add everything then divided by the number of items, the weighted mean considers the weight. Meron kasing weight na nilalagay. So weighted mean is the mean of a set of values wherein each value or each measurement has a different weight or degree of importance. So yung W represents the weight. So for the formula, kanina is summation of X lang yun, di ba? Sa mean, simple mean. Dito, there is a corresponding weight that is given per value. That is why you have W. W is the number of measurements. So for the numerator, you will have the summation of X times W. Since you are having X and W sa taas, and based on our previous lesson for the mathematics of language, pag itapad ang duha, you will multiply them. Summation man siya, so you multiply each value by the weight, tapos i-add silang lahat. That is why meron siyang summation notation. That answer will be divided by summation of W or i-add lahat ng mga W's or weights. So please take note of the formula because we will now start calculating. Below are Amaya's subjects with the corresponding units. So for Filipino, meron siyang 86 na grade pero ang number of units is 0.9. For English, the grade is 85 pero it is equivalent to 1.5 units. And so on and so forth. So meron siya mga subjects na 1.5, merong 1.8, merong 1.2, and ang pinakamababang unit is 0.9. So anong ibig sabihin nito mga units? Just like sa inyo, di ba, college students, you have subjects na may mga 3 units, may mga 5 units, and so on. Yung units kasi will determine kung gaano ka importante, the degree of the importance of the subject to your overall average. Or for example, kayo for criminology, yung mga subjects na may malalaking number of units, yun siya ang mga pinaka-importanteng subjects para sa inyo. So, ano yung subjects ng mga 5 units? Usually, mga major subjects yun. So, kung i-compute ang grade ninyo, mas malaki ang kanyang multiplier. Ano yung mga 5-unit subject ninyo sa criminology? Do you have 5-unit subject?
Wala man ata, sir.
Wala, sir.
I think meron yung 1 sem. 5 or 6 units.
6 siguro na,
Yes, sir.
sir. 6.
Meron, sir.
6 o yung
Ay, na, sir.
6. Yung 6 units, may importante yun siya. Unlike sa other subjects like English, Math, Filipino, Science, 3 units lang siya. Pero meron pa bang subjects na below 3 units? I think, how about yung PE? Meron bang unit yung PE? Kasi yun siya ang multiplier. That will tell you kung gaano ka laki ang importance ng subject. So if we will compute the weighted average of Amaya, then we will have 86 times 0.9 because that's the weight for the Filipino, plus 85 times 1.5, plus 88 times 1.5, and so on. As you can see, meron siyang multiplication, di ba? Ang bawat item, 86, 85, 88, 87, 86, 83, and 87, bawat grade, meron siyang corresponding weights. So yung weights ay dapat i-multiply sa bawat grade kung saan yun siya na-assign. After that, you divide the overall result by the total number of units. Yun siya, ang units ang nag-represent ng weight dito. So you add all the number of units, 0.9 plus 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.8 plus 0.9 plus 1.2 plus 1.2. That will be your divisor. So if you are going to calculate using your own calculator right now, before I reveal the answer, what is the general average of Amaya? You have to calculate. No answer? I-calculate na ninyo. It is advisable that you use calculator, especially that our subject is all about computations, kaya para our time will not be wasted. Wala, dili ma-reveal ang answer kung wala mag-compute for this particular example. If you have a scientific calculator, then pwede man siya i-direction na lang siya o press. Then, divided by kung i-add to nimo mga units sa denominator. So I'm waiting for the answer before I reveal the correct answer because you need to acquire the skill in computation. How to compute properly. According to Dargantes, Miss Ronamel, it's 86.10. Congratulations, Ronamel. You got the correct answer. The average of Amaya is 86.1. Ronamel, are you here?
Yes, sir.
Okay, very good. Do you use calculator?
Yes, sir.
Mas mabilis, di ba? Scientific calculator, if you have, kung walang scientific calculator, okay lang ordinary calculator. Basta you have to properly press the numbers para hindi ka mali. Next, it's your turn. The first one to give the correct answer in our chat box, again, will receive additional points for the recitation. Compute the grade point average of James, considering that every subject has different units. For math, his grade is 90, but the number of units is 1.5. For English, it's 86, but the number of units is 1.5. For science, 88 with 1.8 units. For Filipino, 87 with 0.9 unit. And for Makabayan, is 87 with 1.5 units. I am waiting for your answers. The first one to give the correct answer will earn additional points. And so far, we have two answers, different answers. 81.63 from Dargantes and 88.5 from Mahasol. If you have another answer, then you continue giving answers. 81.63, the same answer kay Dargantes, Juvilla. 87.74, Labajo. So, I think that would be enough. Let's check if there is someone who got the correct answer from these students. So for the solution, you have to compute for the numerator 90 times 1.5 plus 86 times 1.5 and so on, divided by the sum of the units. So you have to add 1.5 plus 1.5 plus 1.8 plus 0.9 plus 1.5. That will give us 87.67. And nobody got the correct answer. Sayang no, ang almost there, 87.670, 44 lang sa si Aljo Albao.
Yes,
Labaho.
sir.
Yes, Miss Karin?
I think I got the answer, but nahabol. Sorry. Answer.
Hindi nahabol. Can you just show your solution? You can still see it because you
Ano,
have
sir?
your camera.
Sir.
Na-show mo sa camera mo kanina?
Please, malakab sa akin, 1 did it to 7.2 and the result is 87.67.
Wow, very good. Thank you so much, Miss Garin. So at least you can prove that you have made your own solution right before I flash the correct answer. So since nobody got the correct answer, to those who send their messages, their answers, but someone showed her solution, so the point will be awarded to that person who showed the solution and the correct answer, who happens to be Miss Garin. So far, Miss Garin pa ang nakakuha og points for tonight. Don't worry, we have more exercises. So the average score or grade of James is 87.67 when we talk about weighted mean. So nasabtan ang weighted mean. We can always hear mga weighted mean, pero ang uban murag wala sila kabalo unsay pasabot ato. When you compute actually for your average, later on siguro some of you will be applying for scholarship, for academic scholarship. Pag i-compute ang inyong grade, i-multiply ang units. So weighted mean ang ginakuha sa inyuha. Dili kay inyuhang i-compute inyong grade, i-add yan, divided by pila kabuk inyuhang grado. Because we are considering also the number of units. Kasi may mga subjects na malaki ang weight, meron ding hindi masyadong malaki ang weight. So that ends the mean, the first of the three measures of central tendency. The second one is the median. Kindly read, what is median? Do what?
The median, denoted MD, is the middle value of the sample when the data are ranked in order according to size.
Thank you so much. So the difference between the mean and the median is that for the mean, there is no need to arrange. You just compute. I-enter lang sa calculator and then divide later on. I-add and divide by the number of data. For the median, there is a need to arrange. So you cannot get the correct answer kung hindi arrange ang data mo. So this is the first step, and usually ito siya yung hassle part sa median kasi kailangan mo siyang i-arrange. Pero afterwards, kung arrange na siya, very easy na ang pag-determine. It's because you will just look at the center, the middlemost value. So for example, meron tayong 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22. This is already arranged. What is the middlemost value? Ang nasa
19, sir.
Very good, Miss Edar. Jocelyn, that's correct. 19.
Yes,
So
sir.
it's very easy, di ba? Mas mabilis ang median pag naka-arrange na siya. You don't need a calculator. Sometimes, diretso na, 19 ang pinaka-center, 19 ang median. So that is correct. That is very much easy because the number of observation is odd number. As you can see, ilan sila? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 sila, di ba? So 7 is an odd number. So kung odd number, meron talaga siyang middlemost value. Pero how about kung even ang number of observations? Say for example, dalaga natin ang isa, naging 8 na siya. So what will be the middlemost value?
19 of 20.
So Jocelyn, you have two answers, 19 and 20. Pero we need to give one median. So what will you do?
19.5, sir.
Teacher.
That is by getting the average of katong dalawa. Yung dalawang nagtay sa middle, 19 and 20, you get the average. That is 19 plus 20 divided by 2, that's 19.5. So 19.5 or 19.50 is the correct answer. So since dalawa siya, you cannot give 19 and 20. Isa lang ang ibigay na answer, so you just get the average of 19 and 20 since sila ang nagtay sa gitna to give the middlemost value. So right now, we're going to compare ano yung kaibahan ng characteristics. Kanina na-discuss natin ang mean, and ngayon median. Kindly read the first property. Nandito ba si Alim? Alim Angelou? If wala, then we'll have Albansis.
Pansa, median is the score or class in the distribution wherein 50% of the score fall below it and another 50% lie.
Very good. So kung i-recall natin kanina yung pinakita, di ba ang 50%, half of the data nasa left side niya and the other half is nasa right side niya. So siya ang nasa gitna. Siya ang mediator, in other words. Kay 50% sa taas, 50% nasa baba. So ang nasa gitna ang median. Second one, please read Mr. Kwabo. Mr. Kwabo, if you are here.
Number 2,
If
sir.
wala, then I will call another person. Kita.
Number 1, sir.
Number 2.
Number 2. Median is not affected by extreme or deviant values.
Very good. As you can remember kanina, di ba? Yung mean is affected by deviant or extreme values. Pero ang median is not affected. Bakit kaya hindi apektado ang median? Bahalag na itaas kay nga score or na imubo kay nga score, di siya maapektuhan daw. Nga naman. It's because ang kanyang focus is nasa gitna. So whether nakascore ka dito ng 0 o nakascore ka ng 100 dito, it does not matter because the focus of the median is only at the
Center.
Very good, Jocelyn. So that is why hindi siya affected ng mga deviant values. Number 3. Please read Venus.
Median is appropriate to use when there are extreme or deviant values.
Okay, in connection to number 2, kung meron ka mga values na masyadong maliit, masyadong nakakaapekto, then pwede mong gamitin ang median. If you are reporting, for example, tapos, hala na, may mga gagmay kaya nga score na is 0, I will not include this one, so I will focus only on the center. So in that case, median is the most appropriate value or measure of central tendency to use. Number 4, Kwabo.
Number 4, median is used when the data are ordinal.
Okay, can you still remember anong ibig sabihin nitong ordinal? Yung sa previous lesson natin, di ba? Ordinal, one of the scales of measurement, i-order mo siya. From the word order, ordinal. I-arrange mo siya. So kung ang data is naka-arrange, then it's easy to get the median. How about number 5? Kindly read. Hokoy or hukoy. Hukoy.
Median exists in both quantitative or qualitative data.
Very good. So in connection also to number 4, whether it's numerical or not numerical, quantitative or qualitative, as long as naka-order siya in ordinal form, you can actually locate the median. Kahit very satisfactory, not so satisfactory, basta naka-arrange lang siya kahit hindi siya numbers, you can actually identify ano yung center, then that will be your median. As comparison, kanina sa mean, ang limitation niya is pwede lang siya sa quanti. Pero ang median, pwede siya quanti or quali. So, nag-guess niyo ang difference between mean and median?
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Okay, very good. Now, let's proceed to another graded participation. The first one to give the correct answer will earn additional points. Let's have number 1. In a survey of small businesses in Tondo, 10 bakeries report the following numbers of employees: 15, 14, 12, 19, 13, 14, 15, 18, 13, and 19. What is the median? Ilan kaya more or less ang mga empleyado sa mga bakery sa Tondo if we will get the median? So the first answer is 14 from Mr. Quabo. Are you sure? How about the others? I need to have more than one answer before I present the correct answer para meron tayong options. So I think that's enough. Meron na nagbigay ng mga answers. The correct answer for number 1 is 14.5. Okay, nobody got the correct answer in our chat box. Nganong 14.5 man? We have to be accurate. So, dili pwede mo hangyo diri John Vic. Kailangan accurate imong answer. So, if you are going to arrange, sayang no, if you are going to arrange, what is the first number kung mag-arrange ka from the smallest value? Kung sa'yo mauna, i-arrange mo ni
Tama
una.
rin, sir. I-arrange mo.
Answer. So, magsugod ka sa 12, di ba? Pila ka 12? Isa ka 12. Followed by, na ay mga 13. Pila ka 13? Duha. Followed by 14, na apoy duha ka 14. Followed by 15, you have also 2 15. Tapos 18 diretso and then 19. Actually, ang pinaka-center, dalawa, 14 and 15 because we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So the number of observation is even, so dalawa ang nasa gitna. 14 and 15, so you get the average of the two. That's 14.5. So I'm sorry, nobody got the correct answer for number 1. Let's proceed to number 2. Now you have to compute. Savings of the second year high school students, we have 340 pesos, 350, 450, 500, 360, 760, 800, and 740. What is the median? Jocelyn Chadar said it's
Yes, sir.
475. While Marvin said 450 pesos and 50 centavos. I think Jocelyn got the correct answer. Congratulations, Jocelyn. You got the
Thank you,
correct
sir.
answer. Can you tell us the correct order? How did you arrange it?
Cancer, 340, 350, 360, 450. Then ako rang giko sir katong nasa tunga 450 og 500. Mga kong gi-plus then divide 2.
Very good. Thank you. Now let's proceed to the last one. This is all about the light bulb, the lifetimes of light bulbs in thousands of hours. So say for example, we have light bulb A. Ang iyang lifetime daw is 1.1. So pasabot ana 1,100 hours siya pwede siya mag-last before siya mapunder. So na 1.1, na 1.2, na 0.9, na 0.2. What is the median? So we have answers right now. And the correct answer is 1.1. Miss Garin, for the third time, got the correct answer for tonight. Ha? So paspas ang pag-compute ni Miss Garin. Congratulations. Again, you have to arrange before you get the middlemost value. Now let's proceed to the third measures of central tendency. It's the mode. Kindly read the meaning of the mode. John Vic.
The mode, denote mo, is the
Denoted
value
M.
which, denoted MO, is the value which occurs most frequently in a set of measurements or values. In other words, it is most popular value in a given set.
Thank you so much. So if you will consider the other two, median and mean, you have to consider all of them, di ba? Kaya sa mean, i-compute ni mo tanan. Sa median, you need to arrange. Sa mode, this is actually the the easiest. If you are lazy, mas ganahan kag mode. Nga naman, you will just look at the most frequently occurring value. Ang pinaka nagbalik-balik, mo to siya imo answer. Mo to ang mode. Actually, ang kaning mode, nag-originate ni siya sa fashion. Di ba? Makadungog mong mode or moda. Mode. Dili nagsugod ang mode. Kaya ganing unsa ang balik-balik, unsa to ang term karon, unsa ang trend. Mo na siya ang mode. For example, daghan kaayo og na zero sa exam, palayo lang. Mo to siya ang mag-define sa inyong section. For example, in this section, a lot of students got zero while the others got perfect. Pero mas daghan na zero. So ang inyong central tendency kung mode ang gamiton, zero. Kaya mo man ang nagbalik-balik. So let's try. What is the mode for number 1? The ages of 5 students are 17, 18, 23, 20, 19. Anyone? Meron ba itong mode? Wala.
Wala, sir.
Sir, may balik.
Tama, wala. Nagbigay ng answer dito. We have Descaliar and also Quabo. And nag-raise ang hand si Garin. Miss Garin, do you have your answer also?
Yes, sir. There's no
Very
mode,
good.
sir.
So as you can see, sa tatlong binigay na measures of central tendency, yung dalawa kasi you can give an answer. Sa mode, pwede kang walang answer because wala talagang nagbalik-balik. So walang answer. It's possible na no answer. Let's have number 2. Pwede siyang qualitative. So pwede ang VS, VS, SO. What is the mode?
BS, sir. BS.
Very
BS,
good,
sir.
Mr. Mahasol. BS. Because it appeared how many times? 3 times.
3 times.
Let's have number 3. Kaheta, you're raising your hand. Sige daw, number 3.
Sir.
3.5.
4.0.
Actually, there are two answers because nag-tie sila. Twice, di ba, lumabas sa grades of 5 students, twice lumabas ang 4.0 at saka 3.5. So, dalawa ang sagot. This is what we call as bimodal kasi dalawa. So, in other words, pwede siyang walang sagot, just like number 1, pwede rin siyang more than 1 ang answer. So, ang mode lang talaga ang kakaiba as compared sa mean at saka sa median. How about number 4? The weights of the boys.
117.
117.
117, sir.
Because it
117, sir.
appeared twice. Correct. So ano yung mga katangian ng mode? We are going to compare it again, this time sa mean and sa median. Kindly read the first one. Do what?
It is used when you want to find the value which occurs most often.
Very good. So kung gusto mo lang malaman kung ano yung nagbalik-balik, then mode ang pwede mong gamitin. For example, ano kaya ang pinaka-paboritong brand ng mga taga-Mako when it comes to shampoo? So pwede ka mag-survey tapos ang nagbalik-balik, mo to ang imuhang kwaon nga mode, mo to ang mag-describe sa ilahang usay favorite brand nila sa shampoo. So yan ang first property ng mode. Second one, are you here, Discaliar? Nag-raise ng hand kanina.
Sir.
Number 2, kindly read.
It is a quick approximation of the average.
Very good. Hindi ka nagagamit ng calculator nito because you are just having a quick approximation. So anong ginagamit mo? Yung mata mo lang, tingnan mo kung ano yung nagbalik-balik mo, oras na yung answer. So that is a quick approximation mode. Number 3, Alburo.
It is an inspection average.
The same pa rin because you are just looking at the numbers. You are not calculating. How about number 4, Alburo?
It is the most unreliable among the 3 measures of central tendency because its value is undefined in some observations.
Again ha, it's unreliable. So if the mean is the most reliable measurement kasi you are taking into account every item, ang pinaka hindi reliable sa tatlo is mode. It's because yung nagbalik-balik lang ang iyong titingnan. For example, kanina yung first example natin, di ba yung quiz? For example, quiz mo, yung 100 ka sa first quiz, 0 ka sa second quiz, third quiz mo 95 ka, Fourth quiz mo, 0. Kung ang kukunin ng teacher ngayon is not mean, not average, but mode, ano yung mode mo? Yun siya ang i-record. Will you agree nga yun siya ang i-record ng teacher? Naka 100 ka, naka 95 ka, tapos naka 2 0 ka. 0 ang i-record ng teacher mo.
No, sir.
Mo ang gagamitin. So it's not fair. That is why it's unreliable. And number 5, Handumon. Handumon, are you here?
Sir. Ako, sir.
Number 5.
Number 5, sir. Truth
Go.
exists in quantitative data.
So,
It is most applicable in qualitative data.
very good. Though it exists in quantitative data kasi pwede mo makita ano yung nagbalik-balik na number, it is most applicable in qualitative data. Yung example natin ng mga brands of shampoo, kung mga answers ninyo is nagbalik-balik, pwede ka, applicable talaga siya ang qualitative data. Now, it's our turn again to have graded participation. Let's have number 1. The first one to give the answer in the chat box.
7, sir.
Give additional points. Kwabo ang first naghatag. According to him, it's 7. Are you sure it's only 7? Oh, naghatag og 2.5. It's actually 3, 7, and 8. Jocelyn ang first naghatag. Chadar. Let's
Sir.
have number 2. Congratulations. Number 2. 80, 70, 80, 90, 82, 82, 90, 82.
82, sir.
Ala ka, gisulti no? Si kita na una nagsulti.
Albansi, sir.
82. Si
Ako,
Albansis
sir.
to nagsulti. Ang nagsulti 82. Murag si Duwat ako nakitaan.
Ako, sir.
Si Duwat.
82, sir. Kasi may
82
tulong ako.
because it appeared 3 times. Ang highest frequency. Though nag-appear ang 80 twice lang man. Ang 90 twice lang. Ang 82 ang katulo. How about number 3? 12, 15, 12, 8, 7, 15, 19, 24, 30.
12, sir. 12. 12. 15, 12.
12, 15, sir. 12, 15.
12 and 15. So, based ato ang ano ha, chat box, si Gato ang una naghatag. I know, si Dargantes. So, it's very easy. Mean, median, and mode. So, do you have any questions? This is just a measurement of central tendency, di ba? This is just a review actually of our previous lesson sa high school. Pero in our examination, we are not yet done in this particular part. Kasi, we will have another topic, the last part, the measures of variation. And I will also give you yung mga glimpses on how to compute kung not ungroup. Ungroup kasi yung kanina. So I will stop recording.